Action!
Hello everyone, my name is Karuna. I work for igebra.ai. We are a global edtech company. Today, I would like to welcome you all on this talk show named iPi Industry Talks. Joining us here today is a very special guest. She is a highly experienced techno-functional consultant in the Fintech industry. Welcome Nikita, how are you doing today?
Hi Karuna, I'm doing good. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here.
I'm so excited that you are here. So excited to have all the amazing conversations.
Same here.
So can you give our audience a little brief about yourself?
Sure, yeah. So as you said, I am a techno-functional consultant working in the fintech industry. So we basically work towards making the cash application cycle for global clients automatic. So that's where I specialize.
So this is what you always wanted to become while you were growing up?
No, not really. So growing up, I had like childish dreams of becoming a doctor. But then some of my family members were into that field, and I got to know what kind of practicals and all they do, cutting bodies and everything. So that frightened me, and I kind of switched the plans and went with the engineering. So I was always interested in maths. So that's how I got into engineering. And then about fintech, I got into fintech when HighRadius came into our campus for placements. And then we searched about fintech a little bit, and I got to know that it's quite an evolving industry, and I can get a lot of new opportunities working in this sector. So I just went with it. I went through the recruitment process, got hired, and that's how I came here.
So do you love what you're doing right now?
Yeah, I really like my job profile and the global exposure that I'm getting. I really enjoy working both with the technical aspects and the business aspects. So it's a really nice exposure that I've got so early in my career.
That's fantastic to hear from you. So can you tell me, like you mentioned earlier, that you were very passionate about math, you love doing it. So is there any math concepts or math knowledge that is required in your particular industry?
Yeah, so as I said that it's a fintech industry, so we deal with finance, payments, and all kind of cash flow kind of things. So that is all numbers, and when it comes to numbers, you have maths by default. So we generally, in my day-to-day life, we use basic arithmetic operations, definitely, that's too basic, and then we go with percentages a lot, we use comparators and everything. So a lot of maths concepts are used in our day-to-day functioning.
So no matter what industry you are in, math knowledge is required.
Yeah, right, I agree.
So while you were studying in school, so do you have any crazy memories of your math class?
Crazy memories? Not really crazy, I would say, not in school, but I remember once when we were in college and we were in the second semester, and we had a professor named Mr. Deepak. So he set up a test actually for all of the class, and he came into the class and he said that I have set up a set so hard that even Nikita wouldn't be able to do it.
Oh.
So I was I was so passionate about maths, and I was always ahead of the class. At least I tried to be in maths. It has to be me. And he came in and said even Nikita couldn't do it. So it was like, okay, he took me above the cloud at once and then dropped me instantly. So yeah, the test was very hard, and none of us could pass it. So yeah.
So you have set the benchmark that the professor was telling your name.
Right.
That's fantastic. In your school or in your college life, if you could change one thing about math subject or anything about it, what could it be?
Personally about me or the course?
About
how I did it?
Math education in general.
Okay. So what I feel is like too early in the curriculum, some complex concepts have been put in. So that is where most of the students have a fear of maths. So maths is a big phobia that majority of students have. So what I feel is maybe that could be a lighten up a little, so more students will feel more comfortable and take up maths as their career and try to see a future in mathematics sector, maybe because they get frightened so early and they drop the idea right away that we don't want to do anything in future with maths.
So like you mentioned correctly that most of these students today have math phobia. Whenever they hear this name math, they're like frightened and they're like they don't want to do it. And parents and in fact all the teachers struggle to make them study math or make them fall in love with math. So what according to you is that one aspect that every parent or teacher should try to make their kids fall in love with math?
So, I mean, it would actually work different with different kids.
Right.
That's what I feel. But one thing, if I would like to say, is that I've seen that some parents like feel that they've, if finance their kids' education, their responsibility is quite end there.
Right.
So that should not be the case. They should really, look forward, like what my child is actually interested in, and if they see like 2-3 fields, they should try to educate the child in what possible futures he might have in, and guide him through the process with that. Don't just get your child enrolled in an institution and then let him by himself and figure out the rest of it.
So in
That's what I
that
feel.
particular aspect, were your parents very supportive when it came to education and?
Yeah, I mean, my parents were really like very supportive. They tried to, they gave me actually all the choices. They let me do whatever I wanted to do. They were never like, okay, we only want you to go for these kind of jobs, so go with that. I mean, they told me that they want me to have a government job, but then when I chose the corporate sector, they were with it, yeah. So they were quite supportive.
So coming to the corporate sector and especially the IT industry, so what according to you will be the future trends, let's say till 2030? What trends do you see?
I mean, there are a lot of new technologies coming in. I really, it's hard to pick one, but maybe
You can
let's
name
go
a
with.
few.
I mean, there's AI, there's augmented reality, there's virtual reality. I mean, virtual reality is very, very trending. A lot of big tech companies are working in it, and I mean, it's really fascinating to me also. Like, I would really like to see what happens next with it. So, yeah.
Okay, so all these future technologies, do you think that today's generation need to be prepared from their very initial days, like from school and college days, so that they can thrive in the future?
Yes, I think, yeah. I mean, if, as I said about virtual reality itself, if we talk about, as we're talking about math specifically, we talk about that. So, in virtual reality, there's a lot of mathematics involved. Like,
Right.
there's 3D, there's geometry, and a lot of other like vectors and everything. Those concepts
Right.
will come in. So, if you're not very clear from the basics, you'll not try to go advanced with it. So, it's better to start preparing earlier.
I completely agree with you. It's like a pyramid. If one block which is
Right.
not set right in the beginning, then everything will just crash down.
Yeah.
So it's very important to have basics, and especially today's generation, because I feel there's so much of data around that they should
Right,
all
yeah.
grasp it and just make the best use of it.
Right.
Okay, I have a small fun segment for you. Okay, so I have like 4 to 5 tongue twisters with me, and you have to read it out for us. Okay, so here's your
Okay.
cue card. And so, what's the first one?
Oh, I'm really bad at it, but yeah, let me give it a try. A real mathematician can mathematically mathematize in a mathematiculation. That's the first one.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
What's the second one?
The second one is, how many cookies could a good cook? Okay, that was still better, I think.
Better than the first one.
Better than the first
How
one.
about
Yeah.
you try to say it a little faster?
Oh, the second one I can maybe.
Okay.
How many cookies could a good cook? How many cookies could a good cook? Okay.
So, do you like cookies?
Yeah.
Well, it also involves math, baking.
Right. So then the third one is 1 race 2 1 1 2. I have no idea what this means. And
How about the last
one
one?
is 12 twins twirled 12 twins. Okay, 12 twins twirled 12 twins. This was also, the first one was really bad. Okay.
So, the first one was a real mathematician can mathematically mathematize in a mathematical matriculation. Oh, that was
Nice.
but nice.
Yeah.
So, I remember like for me, school days was all about games and fun activities. So, what do you think? So, playing games improves mathematical ability?
I mean, what I feel is playing games improve your overall personality and overall whatever you're doing, even in terms of education. I'm not so sure about improving mathematics in particular, but I think it does have an impact on your academics, because it's like it lightens up your minds if you're all into books only. So eventually you'll get frustrated and it will not go so good. So you need to have a side activity going on a daily basis.
Right. So playing games is definitely entertaining and it lightens your mood. And I feel like it also gives you that extra things that is required. Like
right.
your creativity, or even if you're playing cards, or as simple as snake and ladders, it's just all about probability. It's
Right.
about statistics. Be it your, India's favorite game, it's cricket.
Right.
Most
Favorite
people
game.
favorite game.
Agreed, yeah.
So it's all about statistics. It's all about numbers. It's all like right from the beginning, the tossing a coin. It's probability. That's what we have been taught in
Right.
schools.
Yeah.
So I feel it's all somehow everything is related and interconnected to math. So do you think that today's education system is enough to succeed in the future, or the schools or any other educational institutions should start something different or something which adds value into their career?
So what I feel is a little about the education system is great, and no doubt about that. But yeah, there are definitely some things that I feel is, as we talked about extracurricular activities. So what I felt is during even my schooling is that teachers and everybody encourage you to do good in academics only. They never encourage you a lot to do good in sports or dance or other activities. So all your report card has is what you gain from the books. Your report card does not show your extracurricular activities and everything. So that should also be a part of the curriculum. Like students will feel more encouraged to be a part of extracurriculars, only not only academics, if the report card might show it. So that's what I have felt. Maybe I mean, if you feel differently, you can add to it.
So I agree with you that holistic development of a child is also important. But on the same note, do you think that what is taught in the school books, is just enough for you to get a good job, or to be an entrepreneur, or to be a leader? So what are your thoughts on that?
So I feel like the education system is good, but I would not say it's completely sufficient, because as you said, to have a job or to be an entrepreneur. So these days what we are seeing is it's all going with computers and tech and maybe robots and everything. So that most of them has the base as coding. So what I feel during my school curriculum is there was not much of programming subjects that was involved. We had like one subject, and that was also optional, and nobody wanted to leave their comfort zone and stepped into that just in school. So I think definitely they should be adding something like programming in school level only, so that the students can start learning it from the very basics and do not get frightened of it when they see it suddenly in college.
Yes. So when they'll start, like you mentioned, when they start learning it from now, so when they reach to that level, they'll be more comfortable with it.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
they can do it much better.
Right, yeah.
So that's wonderful. So just before closing it, if you could give one piece of advice to our parents and kids, what it could be?
Okay. So one piece of advice to parents would be, like I kind of said it earlier also, but then it would be like, don't try to restrict your child to academics only. Let him or her have some extracurricular exposure as well. And for the students, I would say, like try not to take a lot of pressure. Try not to make education or maths or any subject for that sake a phobia. It'll all happen if you handle it with a cool mind. So that's what I'll say as an advice.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Nikita, for joining us. It was lovely speaking to you.
Thank you, Karuna. Thank you for having me here.